Hi, this is Olajide from CTF Security and welcome to day 5 of the TryAcme Advent of Cyber 2023. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Introduction to Reverse Engineering, and we have 3 basic objectives in mind. First, we want to experience how to navigate an unfamiliar legacy system. Secondly, we want to learn about disk operating system and its connection to its contemporary Windows command prompt. And lastly, we want to discover the significance of file signature, also known as magic byte, in data recovery and file system analysis. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so welcome back to the challenge. As you can see, the title of our challenge is Tapes of Yuletide Past, and we have the Start Machine button here. So I'll quickly click on that for us to start our machine, and this is going to take an estimate of 2 to 3 minutes. So while we wait for our machine to start, let's quickly scroll down to check the overview of this challenge. So the overview goes like this. The backup tapes have finally been recovered after the team successfully hacked the server room door. However, as fate would have it, the internal tool for recovering the backup can't seem to read them. While pouring through the tool's documentation, you discover that an old version of this tool can troubleshoot problem with the backup, but the problem is that version only runs on disk operating system. We've been able to hack our way into the server room door and we're able to retrieve our backup file, but unfortunately we're not able to restore our data because of our tool inability to read the backup file. So we're looking for a way we can actually retrieve this file back, and if you read further, it says, thankfully, tucked away in the back of the IT room, covered in cobweb, sit an old yellow computer, complete with CRT monitor and a keyboard with a jab of power button. The machine beeped to life and you are greeted with the disk operating system. So that is definitely what we'll be working with here. Let's scroll down and see if we have any more tips. Do we have any more tips? The disk operating system was a dominant operating system during the early stage. This is just like an overview of what the disk operating system is, so I'm not just going to go through that. So let's just wait for about a minute while our machine boot up, so we can just go straight into the challenge. Okay, we have credentials, and it says once the machine is fully booted up, double click on the DOSBox X icon found on the desktop to run the disk operating system emulator. So we're just going to do that. Just double click. After that, you'll be presented with a welcome screen in the disk operating system environment. So let's scroll down. All right, so we have some cheat sheet in here, which is disk operating system cheat sheet. If you are familiar with the command prompt in Windows, disk operating system shouldn't be too much of a problem. So let's just see how we can use some of these cheat sheet commands. The first one is the change directory, which is used to move from a certain directory to another. We also have the dir, which lists all files and directories in the current directory. We have the type, which can be used to view the content of a text file. We have the cls to clear screen. We have the help to provide help information of disk operating system commands. And lastly, we have the edit, which is a Microsoft disk operating system editor. So those are some of the commands that we're going to be using in the early stage of the challenge. So the first part says exploring the past. But before we start anything on the command, let's scroll down to our questions. And the first one, you see that we're trying to determine the file size of a particular file called the AC2023.backup file. Of course, I've answered that one. We're still going to see how to answer that particular question. So the second says, what is the name of the backup program? What should the correct byte be in the backup file signature to restore the backup properly? And the last one says, what is the flag after restoring the backup successfully? Those are just a few questions that we have in the challenge. So let's move, and we're starting with exploring the past. And the first instruction we have is to clear the screen and list all the directories we have in our current working directory. So let's quickly do that. We're going to use the CLS to clear screen, and we're going to use dir to list all the files and directory within our current directory. So here we have about is that 6 files? Okay, we have the dev, we have the games, we have note, we have tc, we have tools. Those are all the directories that we have in our current directory, and we have just 2 files, which is the ac2023.back and the plan.txt. So the next part of the task is type followed by the file name to display the content of a file. For example, type plan.txt to read its content. To do that, we'll just simply use the type command along with the name of the file we want to view. In this case, we have to make sure it's a text file, so we're using the plan.txt, and this is going to give us the content of that file, which is just what we are saying right now. So let's move ahead. What do we have next? Okay, so we'll use the cd next, which is the change directory. Type cd followed by the directory name to change current directory. For example, type cd notes. So let's quickly do that. Change directory to notes. And if we check what we have here, now you can see we have just 2 files which are text file within this directory. So you can go back by using the cd // take you back to your last directory, and we can also use the help command to see all the available commands that we can use within this environment. So let's scroll down. The next part of the challenge is talking about traveling back in time, and our goal for this task is to restore the ac2023.back file found in the root directory using the backup tool found in the tools/backup. So we have a directory called root, which is the C drive /tool/backup. So let's quickly move to that directory. So when we type the cd c, you can go to tools, then slash backup. Then when we check what we have, so we have 3 files here. We have the bumaster.exe, we have the bumaster.object, and we have readme.txt. So the next part of the task says navigate to the directory and run the command bumaster.exe along with the file name. So let's quickly do that. We're going to use the bu. You can use tab to autocomplete, and then we're going to specify the name of the file, which is the directory first, followed by the name of the file, which is ac2023.back. So we got an error message, and it says file could not be read, error in the file signature, check troubleshooting notes in the readme.txt. Now this error message is telling us that there's an issue with our file signature. So we begin to wonder what a file signature means. And when we scroll down to this part, it explains what the file signature actually means. The file signature, commonly referred to as magic byte, are specific byte sequence at the beginning of a file that identify or verify its content type and format. So what this is trying to tell us is that different file formats that we have has different identity, which we call the magic byte or the file signature. These file signature are used to identify this different file format, meaning that we have a different file signature for a JPEG file, and we also have a different file signature for PNG, .exe, and other file system that we could have. Now, the TryAcme has provided some example of file system or file format rather, along with their file signatures. But we're going to take a look at a more comprehensive list. If we open a new tab and you say file signature Wikipedia, and we go with the first link. This is going to show us a comprehensive list comprised of a lot of different file formats along with their file signatures. So for example, let's say we want to know what the file signature for a JPEG file is. You can use the Ctrl F to find and just type JPG, and this is going to give us the file signature for a JPEG file, which is what we are seeing here. So you can also see, let's say if we're looking for MP3, for example, so you can see file signatures, and let's say you're looking for EXE, which is the window executable. Let's go up a little bit. Where do we have it? Okay, go. So you can see this is the window executable, and we have, first of all, we have the DOS MZ executable, we have the DOS ZM executable, but this is rarely found. So we are more used to the MZ Windows executable file format with the 4D 5A file signature. So let's go back to our challenge. And now that we understand what file signature is, in cybersecurity, file signatures are crucial for identifying file types and formats. You will encounter them in malware analysis, incident response, network traffic inspection, web security checks, and forensic. Knowing how to work with this magic byte can help you quickly identify malicious or suspicious activities and choose the right tool for deeper analysis. Now, let's proceed in our analysis. The next thing we need to do is take a look at the error message closely. It is complaining about error in the file signature, and it says check troubleshooting note in the readme.txt. And luckily for us, we have readme.txt in our current working directory. So what we're going to do is to use the type readme.txt, and this is going to show us information or instruction regarding troubleshooting the problem that we have. And it says if you encounter any issue during the backup or restore process, be sure to check the first few bytes of the file in question. The first byte of the file signature should be 4143. If these bytes do not match, it is likely that the file is not compatible or maybe corrupted. So those are the two scenarios. Either the files might be corrupted or the file is not compatible. So what we're going to do is scroll down and let's see the instruction that we have. So the troubleshooting section says that the issue we have is most likely a file signature problem. So we are going to exit, which we are not going to do this because we are using the type to view the readme.txt. So this part is not necessary. Let's see the next part. Let's see this in action by creating our own DOS executable. So now if we're creating a DOS executable, we're expected to have a file signature of 4D5A, which is equivalent to MZ. If you want to see how this works, you can just open a converter, which is the ASCII to X converter. And from here, you can just copy. Let's go back. What do we have? What do we have? We have the 4D5A. Can I copy that? Copy, and we're going to convert from X to text, and we're going to paste it in here. Then if we convert, you can see that we have MZ, which is what we want for the DOS file system or executable file system. Now what we're going to do next is, let's see the file we're dealing with. So navigate to the c/dev/lo. We'll quickly do that. cd c/dev/lo. So what do we have? We have our file called the lo.c. So we can easily compile this C program using the Turbo C compiler. So the command to do that is tclo.c, which is tclo.c, and this is going to open the file. And you can see this is just a basic C program that is meant to print hello world and save it in our current working directory. So the next thing we are going to do is follow the command, and it says press alternate C if you're on Mac, option C to open the compile menu and select build all. So what we're going to do is to use the alt C. This is going to open the compile menu. Then we're just going to navigate with the arrow key to build all, and we hit the enter key. This is going to take few seconds to successfully build the application. So when we get a success message, all we have to do is to press any key, and we have to exit this application. So we're going to use the alt F, then we'll go to quit, and we hit the enter key. Now, if we check dir on our current directory, we now have three files. The first is hello.c, which is the file we have previously. The second is hello.exe, which is an executable file. And the last one is hello.object. So now we want to know what is the file signature for the hello.exe. And to do this, we're going to open the file with the edit tool in the disk operating system, which is what the next command is talking about. So let's quickly do that. We're going to use the edit, then specify the executable file, which is exe. So you can see the file signature for the file is the mz, which is at the top left corner of the screen, which is interesting. You will now see a new file in the current directory, which we have seen. Open it with edit hello.exe. It will show us the content of the executable in text form, which is what you are seeing on my screen right here. The first two characters you see, which is the MZ, act as the magic byte for this file. These magic bytes are an immediate identifier to any program or system trying to read the file, signaling that it's a window or a DOS executable. A lot of programs rely on this byte to quickly decide whether the file is of a type they can handle, which is crucial for operation functionality and security. Okay, let's go to the last part of the challenge, and it says open the AC 2023.back using the MS-DOS editor. Let's do that. We're going to exit this using the alt F, and we go to exit. I don't want to save anything because I've not made any modification, so let's just go to no, select. So let's see what we got. We're going to move back to the directory we have, which is the cd c, and let's see what we got. All right, so we have our file in here, which is the AC 2023. When we open the file with the edit command, what do we have? So you can see we have XX, which is a very big problem because the instruction that we have insisting that our file signature must be 41 and 43. Let's just view that instruction once again. Let's exit this, alt F, exit, and if we go to /c2 slash backup, then if we use the type readme. So it says the first byte of the file signature should be 4143. If these bytes do not match, it is likely that the file is not compatible. Now the problem now is our file signature for the AC 2023.back is carrying XX, which is not equivalent to 41 and 43. Probably that is the reason why the file is not working the way it's supposed to. So let's see how we can correct this. First of all, we want to open that file once more. So let's use edit C AC Now XX, let's go back to our X editor, and when we convert XX, this time around we're going from text to hexadecimal, and we specify XX. What is that going to be? So this is going to be 5850, which is not equivalent to 41 and 43. So we need to modify this data to 41 and 43. So let's convert. Let's go back to X and go back to text. So we need to put in 41, 43 here, and let's convert, which is going to give you AC. So we need to change that XX back to AC. So I'm going to copy this and let's modify the content here. AC. Okay. So we're going to save now. Alt F, save. Then we're going to exit. So that will probably solve the problem. So let's proceed. Okay, go back to the MS-DOS editor window, move your cursor to the first two characters, remove the XS and replace it with AC, which we have done. Once that is done, save the file by going to File, Save. Okay, we've done that. From here, you can run the command bumaster.exe. Then we can specify the AC2023.back again because the magic bytes are now fixed. So since we have fixed the magic byte issue, we can now run our application. So let's say bumaster.exe. Then we can run the C slash AC 2023.back and hit the enter, and we hit the enter key, and you can see this is going to give us our flag, which is THM old school cool dude. Okay, so let's fix that into the question that we have. Let's see, is that correct? Or probably the zeros are wrong. Let's change that. Old, is there anything I'm missing? Cool dude. All right, so let's change all this back to 0. Let's change this back to 0, not O. Submit. All right, so that was correct. So the next thing we are going to do is to find the answers for these two questions. What is the name of the backup program? All right, where can we find that? Can we use the, let's say, edit readme? Okay, so this is going to give us information regarding the project name, and it says project name is Backup Master 3000. The author is Star. So to solve the problem here, we are going to specify Backup Master 3000 as the name of the backup project. Submit. That was correct. And for the last question, what should the correct byte be in the backup file signature to restore the backup file? So not forgetting, it should be 41, 43. Okay, so that was correct. Before I go, I'm going to show you how I solved the first challenge, which says how large in bytes is the AC2023.back file. Now, what we're going to do is to move to the root directory, and we're going to use the cd c slash. This is going to take us to the root directory. Then we can do dir and you see the size of the file appended in the front of the file. So we have AC 2023 back, then we have 12,704 as the size of the file. So, and just like that, we'll solve today's challenge. So guys, if you've learned one or two things from this video, please make sure you like, subscribe and share, and I'll see you in the next video.